So when I was 20, maybe 21, I had ran into a girl I went to high school with. Now when we was in high school, we was cool. We didn't really like talk OD. We didn't really know each other like that. We had a little bit of rhythm, like, she was cute. I was like, I think she was probably feeling me a little bit, but we didn't have no classes together. We just didn't see each other enough for anything to come of it. So I run into her. We're catching up. We're talking like, oh, what you been doing? College, you traveled any, blah, 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 all that shit. And she tells me, she's like, oh, well, I work at a stadium here in the city. If you want to slide through sometime, I can get us ticket for free. We can watch the game together. I was like, you had me at free, for sure. So a week or two later, it's like a Friday night, we link up. We go to a game. I think it was the Yankees and the Orioles, or maybe the Pirates, I don't know. Don't really matter, but we're watching the game, chilling, getting a hot dog, getting some drinks, just, good time. It was a good game. I think the Yankees won in the end. It's maybe 6 o'clock, so we're like, all right, fuck it, let's dip. Maybe we can keep it going, go somewhere, go to a movie or something like that. So I take her to the movies. I don't remember what we watched. It was probably some bullshit. And afterwards, I'm getting ready to, call it a night. Cause I'm like, all right, this was a cool little experience, whatever. Maybe it'll be a second date. I don't know. I'm getting ready to say goodbye. She hits me with the, oh, do you want to come up to my hotel room? We can hang out. I'm like, hang out. Sure. It's probably 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. I already know what we finna be doing. Ain't nobody coming to hang out at a hotel room. I didn't get ready to leave her hotel room again until Sunday morning. So we spent the weekend watching Sex and the City. Use your imagination. So I'm getting ready to leave. It's probably 10 in the morning. I'm getting dressed. She goes out on the balcony to, I think it was like spark up a blunt or some shit. I don't remember. I'm dressed, so I'm like, let me go out there and, kick it with her for another 5-10 minutes, just kind of before I say my goodbyes. Just, not to be rude. I don't want to just up and leave after what just transpired. So we're out there, and I remember this vividly because I'm looking down. We're on like the 8th floor or something like that, but I can still see the cars and everything below. And I'm hanging over the balcony looking down, and I remember vividly, it's an old burgundy Cadillac. The trunk's open. And y'all remember them like milk crates, like the like black milk crates that were real strong and sturdy. You could like stack them on top of each other and use them as like chairs and shit. He's taking those old milk crates full of vinyls out of his car and putting them on the stoop. So I'm just watching this dude. Ain't nothing interesting. I'm just, sometimes you fixate on shit. And so I'm not really listening to what she's saying too deeply. But I hear just blah, 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 some shit, whatever. My husband, blah, 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 blah. And it was like 8 Mile. Snap back to reality. And she says it again, blah, 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 some shit, whatever. All I remember is hearing my husband. And I said, I'm sorry, you're fucking married? And she was like, yeah, you didn't know that? Everyone knows I'm married. I didn't know that. If I did, I wouldn't have just spent the last weekend. So I'm immediately like, oh man, I'm a piece of shit. I just slept with a married dude's wife. And then I'm like, hold up. I've been with you since like 4 o'clock Friday, and your phone ain't rang once. I was like, where the fuck is your husband? And he's not calling you. You've been gone for 2 days. And that's when she hits me with, oh, he's on deployment right now. And I think my heart dropped straight into my ass. So I'm like, what do you mean deployment? Deployment. He's overseas right now. But I was like, what is he, in the Army, the Navy, what the fuck? No, he's a Marine. I just fucked John Cena's wife? Bro, I was like, nah, there's no fuck. I was like, are you trolling me? Like, you gotta be fucking joking me. And she's looking at me with like the utmost confusion, like, why am I reacting the way I'm like, all right, dog. Peace. It was a good weekend. My weekend is fucking ruined now. I'm getting the fuck out of here. So I dip, right? Of course, I'm dipping. I'm immediately making phone calls. I'm calling my boys like, yo, da-da-da-da-da. Do you know Shorty? Do you know who she's married to? Nah, I don't know. I'm like, fuck, I don't know what to do. So I had this white homegirl that when we went to high school, she was friends with everybody. So I called her. Yo, I was just with Shorty, da-da-da-da. Did you know she's married? She's like, yeah, why? I was like, who is her husband? She sends me a link to this dude's Facebook page. This motherfucker is Exactly what I was fearing. Like 6'4" white dude, big fucking lumberjack beard, yoked up, fucking tatted. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker is like an actual trained killer. Like, so I'm like, bro, this motherfucker gonna come home, find out his wife was watching Sex in the City with somebody, and he's gonna go full Jason Bourne on my ass. So I'm like, bro, I'm trying to find out, like, was their marriage shaky or some shit? Was he banging somebody else? I'm like, what? Like, I'm trying to figure out my probability of survival here. And she tells me, again, it's the same, because I'm panicking. It's the same, blah, 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 something, something. After the baby, blah, 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 blah. And my heart sunk even further into my ass. I said, what? I'm sorry, did you say something about a baby? And she's like, yeah, well, they just had a baby, like, I don't know, 8 months ago. I'm like, let me get this straight. I just fucked John Cena's wife while he's on deployment getting shot at, and she is now the father of his beautiful baby. I was like, I am fucking cooked. I was like, bro. So I told her, I'm like, dog, I just spent the weekend with her. And she's like, what? She's like, why the fuck would you? I'm like, bro, there was no baby in fucking sight, first of all. There wasn't a goddamn pacifier, not a baby bottle, not a fucking whimper or cry. Like, there was no signs of a baby anywhere. So I have no idea where the baby was. But I was like, bro, she didn't tell me she was married. We ran into each other like 2 weeks ago. She's asking me out basically on a fucking date. I'm like, I was like, she didn't say anything this whole time until I'm getting ready to leave. So I'm like I said, I'm full fucking panic mode now. Because now I got fucking John Wick coming home to find out his wife was unfaithful. And it was with me. Some fucking jerk off. So I'm like, all right, I'm fucked. At the time, I was already considering going down south for a little bit to visit some family and shit. I took that as the perfect opportunity to get the fuck out of Dodge. So I went down south. I was basically living in the Underground Railroad. I ain't popped my head out for a couple weeks. Thankfully, I don't know what happened. When he got back, they ended up getting a divorce. He did find out she was cheating. Not just with me. I wasn't the only one. So if he did have a hit list, at least my name wasn't at the fucking top of it. But I don't think he ever found out it was me, because this was like almost 10 years ago probably. But just let this be a story. Fellas, before you go putting your thing where it probably don't belong in the first place, do your due diligence and at least find out whose house you're stepping into. I'll put it like that. Don't watch Sex in the City, ladies and gentlemen. Just don't watch it.